Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're back here in the shop because I have a couple of little tools that I use that I thought y'all might be interested in. There are a couple things that I didn't really know about for a long time. This is not sponsored. I didn't get any of this stuff for free. I did go grab some new ones of it because I thought it'd be cool to go ahead and have them in a couple different toolboxes. Because these are things I use a lot and they're not very expensive. Let's check them out. All of these things we're going to talk about today came from my local Sherwin-Williams store. And there's some cool stuff in there if you poke around a little bit. One of the number one things are these. The ones in my truck are mighty beat up and nasty. And these are not really cheap, but they're just straight professional tools. I believe this little set is $22.99 that I paid today, and I think it's on sale this week at Sherwin. But it's called Spring Tools, part number PM407, and right there is something I know everybody here likes to see, made in the USA. How about that? So it's hammerless nail setting and door pin remover tool. So they have two tools in this. I'm going to go ahead and pop this one open here. The helper is going to get his own set after today. We're going to have one in the back of the truck and one in the front. This one right here has a punch on it. And it's not just a junk little punch either. It actually has a little point on it right there. If you can see that. It does not just have a flat end. So it has a little bit of a rise in the center. And all you have to do, if you pull this apart, you can see right inside there, you'll start to see through that spring. It has a long hammer. This back end comes all the way up to here. When you pull this back, this strikes the front end. So you put this on the bottom of a hinge, pull it, and pop. And this will just blow the pin right out of the top. Just fantastic for that. The other end, obviously, if you needed something to knock in, you'd have a nice big flat head there. If you're putting a hinge pin back in and it's really sticky, you flip this over, you put it on top, and you drive it that direction instead. And this big flat end will pop the pin back into place, especially if you're on some of those old early 1900s door hinges and stuff, and they've been painted about 30 times, and they just are plain tight. There you go. The other one that comes in there is a nail set, which as a painter, we all know what we have to deal with a lot. Even though we're not painters, we all have to paint. I mean, it's part of the job, like it or hate it. This one, it's in the center. Both ends have the same amount of steel in them, where this one has a whole lot more drive towards the small point, being that the hammer for this one comes all the way to there from the heavy end. You can see where it bends right there. This one is in the center, and it has two different sizes of nail punch, different size on each end. Right there. So if you're going along painting, you can stick this right in your shirt pocket or whatever. It's just, pencil size. So you can have it right there, flip it out, set a nail, good to go. And it's really nice because you're not holding two things while you're working. You can put one end of this right on the nail head and then just pop it with the other end and it's set. And okay. The other thing, now that's those there. Spring tools. Nice to have. There's nothing plastic on these. They're just all solid metal. Spend the $23 and you're all set. You might just spray paint them a color you won't lose. Yellow or red, orange, something like that. Whatever you like to make it where you can see these on a job site. But those are nice. They will blend in with a bucket of nails or screws though, because they're literally metal colors. So if you throw them in there, you may not see them when you go looking for them. So anyway, that's one of my favorite little tools I discovered a few years ago, and I'm just stuck on them. A good friend of mine here in Enid turned me on to those. He worked at Sherwin-Williams for a while, and he's like, there's a tool you have to have. And he's right. I had a punch before, a spring punch, but I had no clue where it was. But now that I have those, I got two sets, so we got them everywhere. Okay, on to item number 2 that they have there too. Now, you all know about how I feel about most stud finders. They're a necessary evil. I have yet to find one that I actually like. It's hard. Anyway, this one is awesome, especially if you're working out of sustainers, sortainers, anything with a little drawer and you need a little spot to stick it in. You know, you're used to these giant, bulky digital deals. This is the world's simplest stud finder, the Stud Buddy. And yeah, I know there's some good jokes around this, right? But anyway, it shows you right here, all you have to do is you're looking for screws, because this is a magnetic stud finder. And all you have to do with this thing, cut it open here and show you. Now it does say right here on it, not intended for use on lath and plaster walls. Well, what is? They're completely full of nails everywhere. So if you're doing lath and plaster as much as I am, man, I'm sorry. It's a lot of fun, ain't it? Anyway, oh yeah, we should mention the other thing. Also, made in the USA, right there. And not only that, they support the We Hire Heroes outfit. So this deal here is just crazy simple. Made in the USA, right there on the back on the red. Little bitty deal. When you put it in your hand, that's literally all it is. And it's just magnets. See how that pops right? Yeah, that's almost a mistake. You can see the magnets in it. And now, yeah, you can just grab some rare earth magnets and just use those on the wall. That's great. The only issue with those, and I have them in the truck, and that's something else I should have mentioned here, but I'll just tell you. They sell rare earth magnets on Amazon that have little eyes on them. They either have donut-shaped ones, and they have ones that are threaded on one side with a little eye bolt in them. The eye bolt ones, if you ever make a mistake and drop toilet bolts or anything related to that down a toilet hole, I'm not admitting anything, but if you ever do, one of those and a piece of string, when you're dropping it inside of a copper pipe, in the case I'm discussing, or PVC, you can fish out real quick any kind of screws or anything that you may or may not have dropped down there. So, really handy thing to do right there, but it'll also work on the wall. The only issue with those bare magnets is if you get a screw stuck to one, you can see this thing right here is actually impressive. And you see how it will detect even that little point of this really, really well. So if you have a nail in the wall, it's going to grab. And see, right here in between, if you're between the magnets, it will suck to the nearest one. And this thing, if you can see how strong it is, I mean, if you get anywhere near this, it will just jump right to the center. So, neat thing on this is it's straight up and down. It has two magnets, covers a little bit of area that way. You can just move this across the wall, and when it hits a drywall screw or nail, if the people were, yeah, those kind of people, excuse me, it will stick right to that nail. Right through the mud. No problem. This will just stick right there. And just like that, you can determine where your stud is with no digital mess, no dead batteries, nothing. Just simple engineering, and you're done. So I don't think this was very much. I got this, and I think it was on sale today for maybe $5.99 or something. So about cheaper than even ordering a rare earth magnet. So that's the Stud Buddy right there. And I've been using one of these for a while, but I saw them today on sale for $5.99. I said, you know, I got to have that. But you can see, hangs on the wall hands-free when the stud's located. Pretty much works like any other stud finder, other than there's no screen to deal with or get scratched up. And this will drop right in a little spot in your sustainer or in your drawer, right next to these probably. There you go. There's your little kit right there. Anyway. Yeah, probably not a good idea on a magnet to do that. Super, super handy. And that's how strong this thing is. No problem. And this is one of those heavy Lennox gold razors. I mean, it's got no problem with it. It'll hold it by the blade. So, it's almost got to be rare earth magnets in there. Okay, now coming to the end there, we got 2 little tools here. There's one more tool that's going to save you a lot of time, especially if you're stuck using a paintbrush. You're doing a lot of patches and little stuff like that. And yeah, it's fine. You can get on to me if everybody in the world knows about these but me. That's fine. I love these tools, and I've just found myself using them a ton lately, and I thought might make a good little thing to show somebody. And if one person out there has not seen one of these are serious time savers that are very economical to add to your collection. This is the Purdy brush and roller spinner. But all this is it has a lock here so this handle's not coming out in your truck all the time. You pull this out, and it's a spiral. When you push this in, that other end spins. Just like that. So, all you have to do, you can see right here on this end, it'll hold all sizes of brushes. It has an internal gripper right here and a big outside gripper. And then if you're doing a roller cover, it slides on the outside. I don't really wash my roller covers out. Most of the time, they stay wrapped until I'm done using them, and then I pitch them. But if you're using something expensive, you know, like a mohair roller or something lint-free, and something that's a little more complex, and, you know, you're talking $15 roller cover or something, then you may want to use something like this and spin that out. But for paintbrushes, what's cool here is the dry time that you get rid of. If you go wash your brush out, and you suddenly realize that that brush that you primed with is the only brush you happen to have on your truck today, you can stick it in this spinner. Give this thing 4 or 5 good spins, then smooth the bristles back down from the spinning, and you can seriously start painting again right then. Like, it'll work. It just it's not dry, but it's as close as you can spin it out to. So to me, it's absolutely fantastic. I think I have a brush over here. I'm going to stick one in here real quick and at least show you how they fit. Okay, here's a brush. Unfortunately, brand new. This is a Purdy Pro Extra. I use a lot of 2.5s, but usually clear cut elites are my style. So that is my favorite brush. If you're ever curious, is a Purdy clear cut elite 2.5 inch. I buy them by the case. But this is just a regular Purdy Pro Extra. Whatever's special about that, I'm not sure. But I've found just pushing this in is a little hard. So put my fingers right here and just spread it just enough to get it started. The brush slides down, and when it contacts the inner part, it'll go all the way into there. See how it's held all the way back to here? And now, if you can see this, when I push this in, see that? It'll just... Isn't that awesome? That thing will just... You can see the bristles fan out. So it slings it out all the way up into this brush when you spin it. And for getting out every little bit of paint and leaving you with a lot more usable brush long term, this tool is just amazing for that. Now, this one's not cheap. This is $20-something, I believe, at Sherwin-Williams, but it's solid. You can tell we use this thing every day, and I don't know how many brushes a day it'll spin. Me and 2 or 3 helpers are just ramming them through this thing every day. So, wow. Seems like every job you do has painting involved. So this little tool comes in crazy, crazy handy. That's what it is right there if you're trying to see it. And as many of these things as I can find a link to on Amazon or something, if they sell them there, I will do that. But if you're a contractor and you don't have an account at a paint store yet, you're really missing out. So whether you have Benjamin Moore, you have Sherwin-Williams, whatever you have, here where I'm at, the only paint store we have is Sherwin-Williams. That is the choice. Or you can drive 100 miles to get to anything else. So Sherwin-Williams is obviously what I'm using. But get an account set up there. You save a lot of money. They give you a lot of discounts nobody else gets, and your paint is a whole lot better deal. So give it a try sometime. It's well worth it. Plus, they store all your customers' paint colors. If you give them, say, your customer's address for the house, they will store those paint colors that you added to that address for 10 years. So that customer, anytime in the future, I don't know how good your record keeping is, but I don't remember what color match paint I matched to somebody's bedroom 5 years ago, 8 years ago was. There's no way. Maybe you do. I don't. I might remember for a year. Beyond that, all I have to do is walk in Sherwin, give them the job, the customer's address that it was at. I don't even have to know their name. Just I save it under the address with the PO when I check out. Problem solved. The customer can just go down there and get paint anytime they need to that perfectly matches any part of their house that they're looking for. But anyway, that's a few little tools here that I hope can help you out a little bit like they've helped me out for quite a while. And I'm kind of glad I got a few new ones of some of them. There's a pretty good little sales going at Sherwin today. So thank y'all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down there with any other little tool that maybe you found that really can help you out in a pinch or save you just a ton of time. These little things that are just really handy, don't cost a lot of money, but you really need them in your tool bag. And we'll see y'all on the next one.